How's it, guys? Welcome to the highlights of our 5x5 races held on Thursday night. Unfortunately, there are only 2 races that were recorded. I unfortunately disconnected out of the 3rd race and was not able to come back. So sit back and just enjoy some of the highlights. So Craig chose the first car for our first race, and he put us in the GTR, the Road Type B. On the grid, we've got Jakes in first, Craig in second, Jaco in third, Jacques in fourth, Johan in fifth, Ross in sixth, and myself in seventh. As we wait for the lights, green lights, and away we go. Getting a bit of a bad start of myself. That's a great start by Jaco as he puts Craig under pressure heading into red gate. Ross diving through the middle here to take the place from Jacques and putting Johan under some pressure. Oh, almost touching both Ross and Johan. Run a bit wide there, making space for Dylan to come through and get 2 places off the line. Still pressuring Johan, taking another place. That's up 3 places as we go down into Craner Curves. We jump on with Craig as they head down to the old hairpin. Craig following Jaco extremely hard, trying to push up as we go up to Starkey's Bridge. Oh, Jaco a bit late on the brakes, going a bit wide there. This car is extremely loose on the rear. I myself definitely found it quite difficult to get that power down without letting that rear snap out. Moving into McLean's, the 3 of them extremely close together. Only 0.4 of a second holding them. That was a bit of a moment there by Craig. That rear extremely snappy coming out of some of these corners. Braking hard into the S's. Great line there from Jaco, nice and tight, just clipping those ballads, but Craig got a great drive out. Heading down to the Melbourne hairpin, hard on the brakes. Jaco still holding that inside line. Wider trying the undercut, but as he gets that power, and it seems that rear is just not helping him. We pick up the action again with first, second and third. Jake's crossing line in first, Jaco followed by Craig. Down the Wheatcrot straight, approaching Redgate, turn number 1. Craig having a little look. Down they go into turn number 2. Craig pushing hard, trying to force that mistake on Jaco. Down Craner Curves, left, setting up for the old hairpin. Hard on the brakes, little bit of a squeal there. Craig trying to put that power on. Oh, Jaco running a bit wide. Will they touch? Oh, they touched. Sending Craig into the wall. That's definitely going to impact on his performance for the rest of this race. On board with Jacques in 6th. Trying to get close to Johan. Oh, Johan ran a bit wide. They probably just slowed down a bit. Jacques taking up 2 places, 3 places, 4 places. What an amazing move there by Jacques. Had the run, made the overtake on Johan, and got the limping Jaco and Craig as 2 positions. Shot of Jakes as he comes through Coppers, setting himself up onto Starkey Straight in first place. Dylan 9 seconds behind him in second place. As we have a look at Dylan coming around Coppers, setting himself up on Starkey Straight, the positions are Jakes in first, Dylan second. Coming through there is Jacques, then Johan, then Ross, and Jaco and Craig still trying to sort themselves out at the back. Unfortunately out of shot there after they had that touch down the old hairpin. Jaco coming back onto the track, unfortunately clipping Craig and sending him straight into the wall. So Craig with a loose bumper in 5th and Jaco in 6th, heading into Redgate. These guys did have that little tangle up on the second lap, but I did mention in the beginning of the race that these races are more for the fun, so there's no animosity between the drivers. We just here to enjoy, have some fun together and just get some racing done. Jaco coming through the hairpin, a little bit wide on the grass. Oh, lost the rear, had to break out of that. Was very fortunate not to carry that momentum up into the wall. That would have been a disaster. Jake's hard on the brakes into the Melbourne hairpin. Heading up the hill, he'll move over to the right hand side here to set up for Goddard. Hard on the brakes. Oh, a little bit wide. Turning back and getting that power on as he'll cross the line to finish his 4th and go into the final lap. We go on board with Johan as he goes down into the old hairpin. 1 second behind Jacques. Getting that power down through turn 5, up Starkey's bridge, into turn 6. Hard on the brakes there in turn 7 at McLean's. The power on, chasing Jacques. He's a good line here out of Coppice to see where they can get him down at the S's. It looks like Jacques got an amazing drive out of that. Yep, Johan had to tap out of that corner. So positions currently stand: Jake's in 1st, Dylan in 2nd, then Jacques in 3rd, 4th is Johan, 5th is Yaku. He too now coming down Starkey Straight. We jump on board with Ross as Craig made a mistake there. Goes wide, sending signboards everywhere. He did mention to me after the race that this wasn't a car that he'd driven before. Didn't really have a setup, and he really struggled just to get a grips with this car. And Jake's coming across the line in 1st place. Cut back to Dylan in 2nd as he now goes around Goddard's for the last time. Oh, that power, putting that power on, you just see how that car just launches up. Jacques in 3rd. Johan in 4th. Cut back to Yaku, him too coming through Goddard's for the last time in 5th. Ross in 6th and Craig in 7th, who landed up taking the right turn at the S's onto Goddard's and getting himself a 40-second penalty. Thanks guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you thought about the video. Send me a like, subscribe, there'll be more of these to come.